if you're in the Eastern Standard Time Zone or something ahead of us. If you're not in the Eastern Standard Time Zone, good morning, good night, whatever. Ah, nobody's in yet, of course. I never have anybody waiting at the moment. And then, of course, Ethan has to have a stream going on right about now. His darn morning show interferes with my thing. Not that I have many of his viewers, but that's how things are, unfortunately. I start this up. I'm a third of the way through, and he starts his morning show. Lovely. Gosh, lovely. I shouldn't be. Um, Today, I'm not sure what day it is that we're on of the 66-day challenge. I gotta start charting this stuff better to know exactly what day and what book, blah blah blah. Well, I know what book; it's easy enough. But we are in the book of Daniel today. We will probably be doing a. We're doing a famous story from Daniel. So. It's a famous. And I'd have to say, probably my most, for sure, of the Old Testament. I'm not sure about the New, but both combined. But for sure, of the old, it is my favorite story. I want kids named after these people, and I know I'm crazy for that. So this is it. No more rehearsal. We know our parts by heart. Hopefully. I'm not sure how much I'll be commenting on this. I'm just reading it. I'll probably end up commenting somewhat. I don't know. I wish my net would stop going in, out, in, out. Jeez. I gotta do something about that at some point. Um. Okay, so time to share the screen. Hide that. Put that down. Okay, we are in Daniel chapter 3. The Israels have been taken into captivity. And, well, in, I think, Babylon. The king Nebuchadnezzar made an image of gold, 60 cubits high and 60 cubits wide, set it up on the plain of Dura. Sounds like something out of Star Trek, something the Klingons would come up with. Anyway, they got it here from here already, say if they did or would. In the province of Babylon, he then summoned the satraps, the prefects, the governors, the advisors, treasurers, judges, magistrates, and all the other provincial officials to come to the dedication of the image he had set up. So the satraps, the prefects, the governors, the advisors, the treasurers, the judges, the magistrates, and all the other provincial officials assembled for the dedication of the image that King Nebuchadnezzar had set up and they stood before it. Then the herald loudly proclaimed, "Nations of people of every language, this is what you are commanded to do. As soon as you hear the music, hear the sound of the horn, the flute, the zither, the lyre, the harp, the pipe, and all kinds of music, You must fall down and worship the image of gold that King Nebuchadnezzar has set up. Whoever does not fall down and worship will immediately be thrown into a blazing furnace. Therefore, on the flute, the zither, the lyre, the law, the King Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Not that anybody's here, but it's set up. Blazing. At this, they said to King Nebuchadnezzar, "May the king live." Hears the sound of the horn, and all kinds of music must fall down and worship the image of gold. And that whosoever does not fall down and worship will be thrown into a blazing furnace. But there are some Jews who have set over the affairs of the province. But there are some Jews that you have set over the affairs of the province of Babylon. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who pay no attention to your majesty. They neither serve your gods nor worship the image of gold you have set up. Furious with rage, Nebuchadnezzar summoned Shadrach, Meshach, were brought before the king, and Nebuchadnezzar said to him, "Is it true? Or worship the image of gold I have set up? Now, when you hear the music, sound of the horn, the flute, the zither, and all kinds of music, if you to fall down and worship the image made very good, you will be thrown immediately into the blazing furnace. Then what God will be able to rescue you from my hand?" Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego replied to him, Okay, I'm back. Um, Sorry about that, people. I don't know what happened. I think I'm back. I hope I'm back. Let's see whether my stuff is still recording. Okay, so I am back. I don't know what happened. I don't even know where I cut out. Um, how do I find out? How do I go back into my stream? Um, Give me a minute here. I want to find out where I cut off. So this might not go over good. My channel. Go over good. This they said to King Nebuchadnezzar. Attention to you. Hello to whoever's in the chat. I'm just trying to find out my, as you probably know, my things cut out. And okay, I think I found out where it cut off. So I'm going to pause that. I'm going to share my screen again. I'm going to hide. Oh, I want that. Okay. Hopefully this. I don't know what's wrong with my internet the last couple days. Um, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego replied to him, King Nebuchadnezzar, We do not need to defend ourselves before you. It is in this matter. If we are thrown into the blazing furnace, the God we serve is able to deliver us from it, and he will deliver us from your majesty's hand. But even if he does not, we want you to know, your majesty, that we will not serve your gods or worship the image of gold you have set up. Then Nebuchadnezzar was furious with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and his attitude towards them changed. He ordered the furnace heated 7 times hotter than usual and commanded some of the strongest soldiers in his army to tie up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and throw them into the blazing furnace. So these men, wearing their robes, trousers, turbans, and other clothes, were bound and thrown into the blazing furnace. The king's command was so urgent, and the furnace was so hot that the fire of the so hot that the flames of the fire killed the soldiers who took Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And three men, these three men firmly tied them, and they fell in. Killed the fire killed the soldiers who took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And these three men, firmly tied, fell into the furnace, blazing furnace. Then King Nebuchadnezzar leaped to his feet with in amazement and asked his advisors, "Weren't these three men that were tied up and threw into the fire? Weren't there three men that were tied up and threw into the fire?" They replied, "Certainly, your majesty." He said, "Look, I see 4 men walking around in the fire, unbound, unharmed, and the fourth looks like the son of the gods." Nebuchadnezzar then approached the opening of the blazing furnace and shouted, "Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, servants of the Most High God, come out, come here." So Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came out of the fire, and the satraps, prefects, governors, and royal advisers crowded around them, and they saw that the fire had not harmed their bodies, nor was there a hair of smoke, nor was a hair. I'm sorry, tongue tied. Nor was a hair of their heads singed. Their robes were not scorched, and there was no smell of fire on them. Then Nebuchadnezzar said, "Praise be to the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who has sent his angels and rescued his servants. They trusted in him and defied the king's command, and were willing to give up their lives rather than serve or worship any god except their own. Therefore, I decree that the people of any nation or language saying anything against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego be cut into pieces, and their houses be turned into piles of rubble. For no other God can save in this way." The king promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the province of Babylon. Like I said before in the stream, these are probably three of my favorite guys in the Bible. This is probably my favorite Bible event that we're told about. It's for sure my favorite in the Old Testament. You know, I want to name my kids Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And that's actually their Babylonian names. They actually have Hebrew names, and that's shown what it is earlier in the book of Daniel. I think chapter 1, maybe chapter 2. And book of Daniel has a lot of prophecy, as you know, or may not know. But these guys, I don't know why they've always fascinated me, you know. But they have. And I like these guys. This story is just awesome. In a lot of ways. I don't know where Daniel is in this. You know, you would think he'd be nearby, and he would bow too. Heck, he got thrown into that lion's den of lions, and for praying. So he wouldn't be bowing to this darn statue. That's for sure. I don't know where he was. I think I've heard somebody say where he possibly was. But the thing is, with this story, these events, it's like these guys, these guys stood up for what they knew was right, and that's what we need to do as Christians or anybody. Stand up what you believe for what you believe is right, and always hope for the best. It may not always work out for the best. In this case, it did. The guys that were throwing them into the furnace got killed. It's like, yet they didn't. They walked around and like la di da di da di da. You know, and then the king noticed, and then because they were willing to stand up for what they believe in, and because God proved His greatness, these men were promoted. So you know, you there comes good stuff out of standing up for yourself, ultimately standing up for what is right. So I would encourage anybody to do that. I am good, Hoth. How are you? I was just for my 66-day challenge to myself. I'm just in the book of Daniel, and I read the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And just giving a couple comments on it before I get into thing drawing, remastering my characters. So I'm not sure what else to say about this story. Thanks. Um, on a roll of reading, keep talking about the Bible. Okay, what do you want to know? Like I said, I usually, as you know, I read at the beginning of my thing. I read a passage or scripture verse and comment a little bit about it. It can only go so much, but these guys. I'm just trying to bring out stuff from what I read. Um, I'm just gonna get it so I can see your chat and see the verses. There we go. That's better. Okay, so I'm not sure what. It's just like as I was saying, we have to stand. Even if you're not, even if you're listening to this and you're not a Christian, stand up for what you believe till you prove them wrong. Obviously, if you prove them wrong, Nebuchadnezzar stood up for what he believed in, but then he was proven wrong, and he reversed his position. He went from being your God won't save you, can't save you, blah blah blah, and then he saw the facts. Yes, God did save you, can save you, and then he made it law that you don't even speak against the God of Israel, the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And if you do, if you're caught doing it, there's going to be some dire consequences. So even if you're Christian or non-Christians, oh, Shadrach, right there. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. That were, like I said, we're in the book of Daniel. Um, they were three people. The Israelites, for rebellion against God and not doing what He said, living the way that they should, have been taken into exile into the country of Babylon. And I think that, and uh, this king set up a statue. I'm not sure how much you know about this story in the book of Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Uh, they were just three Jewish men that refused to bow to. He made this big gold statue. If you can see here, it was about 90 feet high and 9 feet wide. I think it was, no, let's see. Gives the dimensions here. And 6 cubits wide. Okay, yeah, so about 90 feet high and 9 feet wide. So, and he commanded the playing of some music for everybody to bow. These three Israelites who believed in God above, the one and only God, in my opinion, they said they didn't bow. And then some other guys saw that they didn't bow, wanted them punished or whatever for it. But the king said if nobody bowed, they'd be punished too. But they caught them, and they had something against Israel, the Jewish nation, and they brought them before Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar gave them a second chance. Hey, bud, if you, I'll give you a second chance. If you bow when I get the music played, I won't throw you into the furnace. But if you don't, I'm gonna have to throw you in the furnace. And they said, you don't even have to play the music, bud, King, Your Majesty. We ain't gonna bow. We serve our God. We don't serve your gods. We ain't gonna bow to no statue. And he got way mad at this and said, heat the furnace 7 times hotter than normal. And the guy, they took the guys that tied him up and all that, and were throwing them in. They got killed even before, just from being close to the fire. They fell into the fire. They started walking around. I guess their ropes got burned off, but they came out not having any effects. Well, they started walking around. Nebuchadnezzar peered into the flames or the fire to see them, and they were just walking around like nothing. And he saw a fourth guy walking around. They only threw three guys in. He's like, "Whoa, that fourth guy looks like." NIV takes it as being saying "son of the gods." So I'm not sure how the King James says, whether it says "son of God" or "son of gods." I'd have to look. I could easily do that, but still, he saw a fourth guy walking around, and he's like, "Whoa, okay, these guys are on the money." And he said, "Yo, buds, get out here, get out here." And he changed his tune. Your God is the God. There ain't no God that can do this. Does that answer your question of who Shadrach was? And possibly Meshach and Abednego? I gotta remember, there's like 20 seconds. Yeah, I try and break it down into somewhat simple. You're welcome. Like I said, I'm not sure how much you know of the Bible. I've been a Christian like 38 years, so I know a thing or two. But like I said, sometimes when I'm putting it more, paraphrasing it, bringing it down to simple terms, I want to put in language today people can understand. Oh, okay. Okay, I wasn't sure, you know. You never know. So, unless I can't think of any more to get on about this at the moment. So, go on to my the drawing, the remastering character. Some a point in my comics where my character at the 5.5 year mark because of things um, going on in his family, the real the original flame or however you want to say it is going to give up the mantle of the flame. He's just going to be the flame no more because he's going to have promised his wife if the the flame thing starts interfering with family life and all that, I'll give it up. And then these people arise. Hello to who's ever come in. These people arise to take his place. It's almost sort of like the Superman thing, but without the death part. Almost combining. Yeah. There's a group called the Apologetics. Apologiti group. They made Mission, and they took what song was it? Um, Kid, Caddy Shack or something, Candy Shack or Love Shack by the B-52s, and they created a song about that thing for the fire, about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. But yeah, I guess this would be more that storyline that I'm going to have will be combining more the Spider-Man No More with the reign of the Superman. When Spider-Man gives up, or Parker gives up being my what I call year of hell. And this is just one of the characters that ends up taking his place or trying to take his place. Okay, brushes. There we go. Come on, Net, stop doing. Oh, how can I put on the thing? Okay. So yeah, he ends up having a for this guy. He has a similar look to the original Flame, but it's not complete. I just figured Fire Guys would be the thing for today. with the scripture reading. I sometimes, or I try more than times than not to tie in my whatever characters I'm remastering with whatever the story's about or whatever I'm reading. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I really have to stretch it. So, any questions or anything? Anything you want to talk about? I forgot. You chat on your phone, do the chat portion on your phone, and watch. I think you said your TV. I got to get something to, yeah, chat on my phone. Yeah. Sorry about my net always cutting in and out or the whatever to make it so it's not viewable. It's on my screen. Or whatever I'm supposed to be recording. Well, I already got that one. Hold on. Can you see whether are you watching that? Yeah. Try to watch something not Stop using up the bandwidth. Because my picture keeps going in and out for what I'm watching or what people are seeing, so they can't see me draw while I'm at that part. I know the pain, but I don't know whether it's that or not, but it's using up bandwidth. Sorry about that. No. Pardon? Yeah, but if you're not playing something, it's not doing anything. Or just pause it. I put a couple on the movie on. And I put on Paddington, Peter Rabbit, Tomb Raider. Sorry for that. My net decided to disconnect again for some dumb reason. But we are back. Okay, we're back. Hopefully, there are going to be no more interruptions. Today is just wacky day. Are you still here, Chad? Or are you gone? I'm not Chad, sorry. Off. Again, folks, I'm sorry about while you were watching it, all the cutouts. I am not going to say who this character. Well, this is. I call him the Flame 2. He takes the place of Jason when Jason decides to quit being the Flame for a while. Well, quit for a while. As far as he's concerned, it's forever. Come forth and try and take up the mantle of the Flame. I'm going to try and shroud it a little bit of mystery when it happens, I think. If I haven't given everything away by then. Yes. Okay, so I know I have the crosses on the legs. I am not going to do them. I had them originally on the Flames costume, and I keep forgetting to put them on a lot of times. I think so. I'd have to go over. I might probably not gonna end up putting them on. I like the one cross in the flame. It was supposed to represent the three crosses on Calvary. You know, the one, two, and then the one in the fire. Represent the Holy Spirit at the same time. Or was for those. His footwear, as you can tell, is a lot different than the original Flames. For the original Flame decided to wear sandals. This guy decided to wear sneakers. A little bit of a flame thing going on. So I do know this flame's secret identity, but like I said, I'm not going to be revealing it at this point because uh, oh, hello to who's ever come in. If it's Chad, welcome back. Sorry about all the moronicness of my internet being a pain today. I got my mom. She was watching something. I think she was using the other computer, so I think that was using up a bit of bandwidth. So I got her not using it while I'm doing this live stream. So hopefully that helps. Seems to have been. But then again, my net's been being a pain all morning for going in and out. Well, since you weren't here earlier, I've decided to, on my original flame guy, I had crosses too, but I decided to take them out. Just keep them with the wrong cross. Originally, it was supposed to represent the three crosses at Calvary, or that's what I'm thinking. I was thinking with the three different crosses. What? Nothing on that stick that you like, or what?
It doesn't work. USB. I switched it without realizing it to now nothing's working.
Okay, I'll be back in a second, folks. This shouldn't take me long.
You got it off. Yeah, I got it off now. It's supposed to be on the pillow. I think. Oh, yeah.
Now it's going to go into the movie. All you have to do is hit the stop button. Because the movie, once you're back forever. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Oh, coloring. What am I thinking? You gotta wait till it gets in. Hit this. Press the stop button now. Sorry about this, folks. My mom's usually technically competent. Today, she seems to be technically incompetent. And my one person that was watching has gone away for whatever reason. Okay, you got into something. Oh, I know what I was going for. I was going for the gray. Okay, so we still got skin here to do. Hair. This could be a bit hairy. Oh, I do have to do the skin up above there. Okay, so. So let's see, we also want black, black and blue. Oops. Okay, so we can get rid of the bottom layer now. Far enough along. So one in there, in there. Brown in there. Brown in there. Grab the gray. We need gray in there. Oh, I did not want brown in there. I wanted gray in there. Oh. So there we have the flame number 2. The second flame. And up next, this is a doodle I did, and I'm probably going to implement it somehow into my universe. This is an alien version of the flame. I'm not sure how well this is going to turn out. I just thought, like I said, dealing with the scripture today, I don't always succeed, have some sort of connection, and it's the fire this time. So let's see. That's probably going to be way too thick to start out with. Of course, color, we want black, like that. Okay, so this is, like I said, probably it's not too bad, but I'm going to go down the 1. I have no idea for coloring for this guy. Obviously, it's probably going to be close to. Let's see whether we can see it all. See whether I got. No, I did not. I was hoping I'd have something a bit better to look at than just this, but this is really going to be a really good remaster. This is probably the second time. I haven't even drawn this character a lot. I think this is the one and only, well, the drawing here that you see is probably the one and only time I did them. But And, well, I'd like to make him a part of my universe. Call him Firo. Firo. I've even done this for my character Insecto as well. Create an alien version of Insecto. I might do that too. And every flame has to have a different style across. I might even try and introduce him in the thing with the other flames. He might be another flame that tries to take over. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know much about the character at the moment. He's fire based. Yeah, he looks dog like, I'd say, from Planet of Dog type character people. I don't know. Or maybe it's just a mask. Maybe he's not an alien. Maybe it's just part of his motif. He's just trying to make everybody think. There's an idea. So now I'm almost done here. It's going to be coming up with a color scheme for him. And I still got his hands to do. Yep, I'm only going to give him 3 fingers. Well, plus a thumb. A tum. Tum, 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 tum. This giving me a fact. Okay. I might alter this in the future when I go and look at my original stuff. Not that I know there's not a lot to go on even on my original, but I know what I could do. Do-doop, ba-doop, ba-doop, ba-doop. At least for coloring. Starting the coloring. I gotta change something there, but I do like that. Should probably give him a tail. Not right now though. Um, I do. black. I'll make this darker blue. Obviously tell me in the comments what you think of Firo. Firo, 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 ba-da-ba-da-ba-doo. Ay, itchy, 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 itchy. Okay, so we're going to take that, we're going to expand it, and do a couple of lines that we know. I don't know. He looks fairly silly. I'm not sure how serious a character he's going to be. I might change the color scheme too. I just saw it with the other flame, the flame 2. That blue might go over good. Maybe I should actually. You know what? I'm gonna take that blue. This might make it look better. Oh, shoot. All right. Not dark, too purplish. Oh, that makes it look slightly better. I like that. So, people, tell me what you think of Firo, the alien flame dog. Flamoid, humanoid flame dog. Save as. So, remember to, if you've gotten this far in the video, definitely like, because you've gotten this far, you've had to like it. Remember to subscribe if you've yet to subscribe. Hit the notification bell, that way you know stuff is being put up. And when check out my other content, comment, share. I am on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I have my own website. Website and Facebook stuff is linked in the description. Although I think with the website you have to copy and paste, but. And be sure to check out my other site, my other channel, although I haven't been putting up a lot of content. It is the Pied Piper of Hamilton. It has over 70 videos. There are over 60 videos on here, probably soon to be close to 70. And I'm going to be trying to get up more content that's not necessarily just my noon show, my noon live streaming show. So I guess we will see everybody later. Remember, warriors, I love you and have a great day. God bless.